Are you a native speaker of any of these languages? Slavic, Asian, or perhaps African? The Explicit English channel presents to you the articles: indefinite, a and n, definite, the, and zero article. The reason I asked you if you speak any of these languages is because most of these languages are known not to have articles. In English language, articles play a huge role, and it's very important that you understand all about this subject. So let's get started. Let's tackle the pronunciation first. The definite article the can be pronounced in two ways: the before a consonant, the chair, or the before a vowel, the elephant. When it comes to the indefinite articles a and n, we use them in a similar fashion. A can only be used before a consonant, a chair, and n can only be used before a vowel, an elephant. Try to practice the pronunciation of these articles, as they are among the most frequently occurring words in the English language. Now let's move on to the next slide. Now let's talk about the meanings of the articles. The definite article the can stand before either singular or plural noun. It shows the shared knowledge between the speaker and the listener. It also signals uniqueness of the noun in question. And it signals the nouns that represent mass. These are the non-count nouns. On the other hand, the indefinite articles a and n can only stand before the singular nouns. Unlike the definite article the, there will be an absence of shared knowledge in regards to the indefinite articles a and n. There will also be a selection only of one member of the group, and we will explain what this means later. And lastly, the singular indefinite articles a and n can never represent the non-count nouns. Okay, we cannot count them, but they're not singular either. We'll explain each of these meanings throughout the examples in the following slides. Since we use articles to modify nouns, it's very important that we learn how we classify nouns in the English language. So the first classification takes place between proper and common nouns. Proper nouns are definite inherently because we give specific names to certain things or people, right? And they can further be divided according to their singularity or plurality. Okay? Common nouns can be further divided according to their countability, if you can count them, like 1 chair, 2 chairs, 3 chairs, and non-count nouns, like salt or sugar. You can't count that, right? Furthermore, we can say count noun can be singular and can be plural. Okay? When we talk about these articles, we can say that proper singular nouns can often have zero article, but proper plural nouns can have the definite article the in front. And in regards to the common nouns, both count singular and plural can take the definite article the. And regarding the definite article, count singular can have a or n, depending if the word starts with a vowel or a consonant. Regarding the plural nouns, it can take some, or it can have absence of article. When it comes to the non-count nouns, we already said they don't have either singular or plural. They're collective within the nature. And when it comes to the definite article, they can have the definite article the in front, and they can have some and absence of article in regards to their indefiniteness. Okay, they can never have a or n in front. Now let's jump over to the next slide to see how we can further classify and divide these nouns according to their nature and lexical meaning. Let's unfold the proper nouns first. They can be either singular or plural. If the proper noun is singular, often it will not have any kind of article in front. So let's look at our examples. If we are talking about the continents, Asia or Africa, we will not put the definite article or any kind of article before this noun. The same goes for countries. Same goes for cities, London, New York. Same goes for the lakes, Lake Michigan. Islands, Staten Island. Streets, Ainsley Street. Squares, Union Squares. If you have any of these classifications, you will not put any kind of article in front. Plural proper nouns, on the other hand, carry the definite article the as a matter of convention. Okay, so let's look at our examples here. The Sahara Desert. Okay, there are so many deserts, but there's only one Sahara, right? There are 4 oceans, right? But there's only one, the Pacific Ocean. So because it's only one specific out of the group, we give the definite article the. There's so many gulfs, right? But there's only one, Gulf of Mexico. So we say the Gulf of Mexico. The Amazon River, there's only one, right? The Panama Canal. And the USA, the United States of America. Okay? So these are the matters of convention, and if you use any of these classifications regarding the proper nouns, you will have to put the definite article the. Now, what would the English language be without exceptions, right? When it comes to the public institutions, we will put the definite article the, even though the noun may be singular to you. So we'll say the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, we need to put this the. And with this, we conclude the classifications of the proper nouns. Now let's move on to the common nouns. We said that the common nouns can be either count nouns or non-count nouns, right? Count nouns can take the definite article the and a and an, and regarding the plural, they can also take the definite article the, and they can also take some and absence of article, depending on what kind of noun we're talking about. The main thing that you need to remember about the count nouns in English is that you can count them. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And this may be different for different languages. You need to know what kind of nouns you can actually count in the English language. 1 house, 2 houses, 3 houses. These are the nouns that you can actually count. Non-count nouns cannot be counted. They're collective within their nature. They can take the definite article the, and they can take some in front or absence of the article. You need to memorize what these non-count nouns are in English. They are abstract concepts, abstract nouns like love, freedom, peace. They're also nouns that show different activities or sports like tennis, running, shopping. Food, different types of food, cheese, rice, bread. Okay, so don't get confused. We cannot say 1 bread or 2 breads. No, we say 1 bread, but we can say 1 slice, 2 slices, or 3 slices. Okay, that's different. Different liquids or gases like coffee, tea, or air, right? You can't just simply count these. Particles such as sugar, sand, or salt. Categories: furniture, genetics, geology, subjects. Natural events: thunder, lightning, storm. So these are the non-count nouns in English. Now let's give some examples about everything we've been saying so far. The first use of the definite article the can be situational. Look at this example here. Pass me the sugar, please. So this is a shared knowledge between the speaker and the listener. Why do we decide to say the? Pass me the sugar, please. Imagine you're sitting at the table having a dinner, and the person next to you has a sugar, and then you say, pass me the sugar, please. Okay, so both of you, speaker and the listener, share the knowledge about the sugar that is on the table. The example of the indefinite article a, let's say you say, I bought a car, right? So a car, it's non-specific. I didn't specify what kind of car. I'm mentioning this information for the first time. It's a count noun, therefore I can say I bought a car. Okay. You can also use the articles the and a in the English language. Let's say I want to say I'm going to the store, or I'm going to the mall, I'm going to the park. So these are cultural things, and they always go together. Also, if you say I have a cold or I have a headache, you know, they might be different types of cold, and I'm not trying to specify which one, therefore I say I have a cold. We can also use this article according to its structure. So in the first case, the person who called was extremely polite. This is a unique type of identification. Out of so many people that called, this person that called was extremely polite. Okay, so we're trying to identify this person in a unique way. A person who called was extremely polite. The listener doesn't need to identify the caller. There's one person, you know, who was extremely polite, and that was it. We can also use textually these articles. In this case, we have the definite article the. Did you hear about the fight? What fight? Between those two UFC fighters. So here, although we're mentioning the fight for the first time, we're using the definite article the because we are going to unfold the conversation as we move along. Okay, so that's why we're using the fight in this case. Last but not least, we can use articles in general statements. Shows fill free time for a lot of people. You know, watching shows. We can omit the definite article the before the word shows. It usually snows in Chicago in spring or in the spring. We can also omit the definite article in this case as well. These are some examples how you can use articles situationally, within the culture, textually, within the structure, or by making general statements, in which case you omit the article altogether. Just when you think we covered everything that there is to cover when it comes to the articles, there is one more thing. It's called shifting in meaning. Okay, it happens when we take our non-count nouns and we shift them to be count nouns, and as they become count nouns, they can take the indefinite article a or an. So our non-count noun here is tea, and when we shift it to be a tea, it changes its meaning. So now when I say can I have a tea, I mean can I have one serving of a tea. Also, if I want to say I want to go buy some teas, I'm not being very specific, but at the same time I try to tell my listener I want to buy different types of teas. Let's just quickly go over our articles and everything we've covered. So we talked about pronunciation and how they differ depending whether they go in front of the vowel or a consonant. Meaning, the stands for definiteness, uniqueness, and a or an non-specific nouns. Then we classified nouns, you know, into proper and common, and then we divided common furthermore into the count and non-count. We gave some examples and we showed how you can get a shift in meaning from non-count to a count. If you guys benefited from this video, please don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.